making time today to be on the Metal Mixtape, dude. I've been following you for a while because I'm a guitar player. Mm-hmm. I like seeing guitar players shred, dude. And you freaking shred. And that video you did with Bryce, dude. Like, you know what's cool is that, like, I've been watching Bryce for a long time, you know, and that guy shreds, dude. And I always thought about it, like, man, I wonder if that Gunnar guy ever went and played with Bryce, dude.
Yeah, you know? That was the first. Go ahead.
Oh, where are you at in California?
I'm not in California, actually. I live in Oregon.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah, so I live near Portland. I'm a little ways south of that, but yeah, Bryce lives in Portland too. So.
Oh, crap. That's insane. I didn't know.
Yeah, no worries, man. A lot of people assume I live in California because I'm in VR, but yeah, I live in Portland. Our singer lives in Vancouver, Washington, which is just right across the border from, like, just north of Portland. He's closer to Portland than I am, actually.
Okay.
And then, yeah, obviously Jeff and Larry live in the Bay Area, and then our bass player, I think Robin with Built is our bass player now. I'm not sure what the situation is exactly, but he lives in Sweden, so.
Oh, for sure.
All over the place. But yeah, anyway, I never really jammed with Bryce before, but I've known him for a long time. He's, you know, he used to play in Spellcaster, and then now he's at Silver Talent. And I think we played together back in the day. I can't quite remember for sure, but I've definitely known him from the scene forever. You know, he's always been a cool dude every time I've met him.
Dude, that's pretty badass. Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, both of you guys, I think you guys both shred at a freaking high level. So when you get, well, I'm saying, dude, I've been playing for like 16 years. I'm still working on little things, dude. Mm-hmm. But like, when you guys are jamming together, what's the conversation? Like, how fast do you want to play today?
Yes and no. I mean, that one, obviously, that was one that we had rehearsed, and we decided, like, we're going to learn this. Luckily, there was already a transcription for it, so that made it easy. We just, you know, I was like, okay, I'll do Alexi's part, you do Rupe's part. Because that video, if you didn't see it, was just obviously it was a cover of a Vivaldi song, The Four Seasons Summer, Presto. But it was the transcription that Alexi and Rupe, I think is how you say it, Rupe, something like that.
Yeah.
The other guitar player from Children of Bodom at the time. They transcribed it on electric guitar, so we played their version of it. But yeah, it ended up being pretty timely because we did it like maybe a month and a half ago. And then, yeah, obviously Alexi just passed away, so I just posted it again. It was like a little tribute to him. But I remember seeing that when I was, I don't know, like 12 or something. I was really young when I first saw it, and I always wanted to learn it. I learned like the very first part of it, and that was all I could play at the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and just years later, it kind of dawned on me again that video was out there, and I'd never properly learned it, and I started wondering, you know, who else I could do it with that would be able to keep up, and Bryce was the first person I thought of. So, yeah, it was fun. Took a little bit of, you know, work to get through it, obviously, but yeah, we only met up once or twice before we started filming.
Dude, that's freaking dope, dude. Yeah, like you said, the timing, you know, because so yeah, he inspired me too, dude. I remember being little and listening to like Lake Bodom.
Yeah.
And actually, the very first song I ever heard from him was Every Time I Die, and it was the first band I ever listened to where I heard like a keyboardist harmonizing parts with like
yeah.
Well, so like, you know, I was like a 14-year-old, and I was like, you know, deep into like Azalea Dying and Trivium. And I was, you know, I'm 31. So around that time I was like 14. So I'm like that metalcore era. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, huge, man.
Yeah. Good.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I never really got huge into Children of Bodom as a band. Like I listened to some of their stuff, but I had a DVD from him that I watched a lot. That's the main thing I remember. I got one. It was like a 3 DVD box set thing that I got for Christmas one year, and I studied that quite a bit, and I learned a lot of little technical stuff from Alexi's playing.
Yeah,
that's probably the biggest influence that he had on me. That, and then just that video, the cover that we did of the Vivaldi song. Those are the two that I remember the most. But,
for sure, man. So all right, dude. We're gonna start this off with a real serious question. Okay. You know, so brace yourselves. How old were you when you knew your mustache was good enough to wear at all times?
I was about 9 months ago old. I just finally started trying to grow it out a little bit. I've had the little soul patch thing for a while. I just last month or I guess it was the month before that now, for Movember, I shaved everything but the mustache because I just thought it would be funny. But so the soul patch is back, so it's not just a porn stash anymore, at least not by itself. But
what, have you been getting hit up by offers by Pornhub or something?
I wish, dude. I fucking wish. Hit me up, Pornhub, if you're watching. Oh, that'd be fun. no offer, sadly.
So just following you on Facebook and just being friends and stuff. I noticed that you're constantly surrounded around music, and even when like they post pictures of like your kid pictures and all that, like were you always in like a rock and roll house? Is that like how like you kind of got your guitar?
Yeah, my dad was into music too. He was in some bands in the 80s. He was a singer, so he never actually played guitar, but his dad was also into music. He was playing some country bands back in the day. But yeah, it's kind of funny. My dad actually was in, power and kind of hair metal bands back at the same time the Vicious Rumors was first getting their start. And then obviously I joined them later, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so he was always into it. And then my mom just listened to like country and stuff. She wasn't really into metal, but she was always supportive at least. But my dad was definitely the main driving force behind, getting me a guitar and trying to get me involved in it. And yeah, he was a big part of it for sure. He still is. But yeah, I don't think I would be where I am without his encouragement constantly and, financial support when I was younger.
Yeah, dude, your dad still looks like a rock star, man.
Yeah, man, he still got the hair. I kind of just like a young version of him now.
Dude, he's a badass, dude. So, dude, did you play some shredding riffs, dude? You're playing solos. You're ripping it up, dude. Did you always want to be like a more of a complex songwriter, or as far as like soloing and leads and all that, or did it come naturally to you?
Yeah, so actually, I wanted to be a singer when I was a kid because that's what my dad did, and I was just, that was the natural next step to me. But yeah, once I got the guitar. It's probably buried in my closet somewhere. I'd grab it out, but it's behind a bunch of cases. It was like a black and white V, like one of the Michael Schenker Deans. You've ever seen those before?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think my mom had actually got me an acoustic a few years before that, but I never played it because it wasn't cool looking. But yeah, on my 9th birthday, I got my first electric guitar, and at that point, I was sold. So because I could actually play the the music I wanted to play on that. At the time, I just listened to like, I don't know, new metal shit, whatever people listen to in like the early to mid 2000s. I think I was into like Korn and Slipknot and System of a Down, all those bands. So I learned a lot of that kind of stuff. And then I got really into Pantera a little bit later. Dimebag's one of my biggest influences for sure. I see
you playing out of that Randall all the time.
Yeah, so I've got a deal with Randall now too. I love those. Obviously, I played Dean. My first guitar was one, and I had a few others in between. But yeah, then I became a Dean artist later, and I've had them ever since. Actually, I got one of my old BC Rich guitars back there. One of the few non-Dean electrics I still have.
Dude, it's got to be pretty wild that like you listen to Pantera and like Dimebag Darrell, and now you're with Dean guitars. That's got to be pretty nuts.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. I mean, it was initially like I had not all of them, but I had a couple Dime guitars, like MLs and shit. And I learned on a V, so I was used to pointy guitars. But another big influence of mine is a band called Protest the Hero. If any of you guys
bro. Yeah,
I love that. Love that band. Those guys and Pantera were like my two big influences. I probably still, this old tab book, Fortress. I studied this shit. Learned everything in here. Yeah, it's all falling apart. But so I learned a bunch of that, and I think that's where my love of like harmony guitar parts and stuff came from. But then a good groove from Pantera. But later on, I got really into Jeff Loomis and like his solo stuff. He played a 7-string, so that was the first artist that I heard that made me want to get one of those. So that was when I got one of the RC7s. Which was like my first kind of Strat body style guitar. Everything I had before that was pointy and obnoxious. So this was my first departure from that to something not traditional necessarily, but more traditional.
So, dude, I think I saw a post on Facebook where you got to talk to Jeff Loomis, right? About like some guitars and stuff.
Yeah, we chat a little bit here and there. He actually found me somehow during the lockdown, I guess, because he lives in Washington, so we're not too far from each other. He's closer to Seattle, but yeah, we chat every once in a while now. It's pretty cool. He's super down to earth, humble guy. And yeah, I mean, he's one of my heroes, so it's really cool getting to talk to him and just be acknowledged by someone that I really look up to. But yeah, I mean, he's totally just a regular dude, so it's really cool.
Dude, that's badass, dude. Just reaching out to other guitar players, sharing ideas.
Yeah, I think it's great, man. Yeah, I felt totally unworthy showing him anything, but you know, he kind of wanted to pick my brain too, which was pretty cool.
You know what show I want to see you on?
What was that?
I want to see you on Herman Lee's channel, dude. He does what did he do? He does Shred Talk. Yeah, he just did like Jason Richardson. He did like he had like Michelangelo on there, and yeah, dude.
That'd be fun. Like a YouTube channel or a.
Yeah, Herman Lee. Yeah, he does Shred Talk. He brings people on, and they'll put like a backtrack on, and they'll shred.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Have you ever seen any of like the newer clinics, like with like the younger guitar players?
I've seen some.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting compared to like the older ones. You know, a lot more sweeping.
Yeah, that's kind of the craze these days. Yeah, that was something I was really into back in the day. I still do it from time to time, but I don't know. Maybe I've grown up a little bit. No offense to people that like to sweep, but
yeah,
I don't know. My taste has changed a lot over the years. I'm a little bit more into, I don't know, more like melodic stuff now, I guess. I appreciate blues more now. I never, liked any of that kind of stuff, but that more kind of a, almost like a vocal style of playing, if that makes sense, or like you're singing your guitar. That's the kind of stuff I really like now. And speed is great too, of course. I love neoclassical stuff, but I don't know. I just appreciate more kinds of stuff now, I guess.
No, I dig it, man. It's crazy you said that because I've been listening to a lot of BB King.
Yeah.
This guitar player, he's like his name is Marcus Giddle, and he tells me how he looks up the blues and how all of his pinky exercises that BB King does. And he said that BB King always bends on the 12th note on the high E string. And he practiced a lot, bending that note with his pinky. And he started out the blues like that as a kid, really working with his pinky.
Yeah, I kind of learned upside down and backwards. So I'm like sort of going back now, and especially during the initial lockdown, I was just kind of woodshedding everything, trying to get better with theory and all that. But I was mostly self-taught for the first couple of years that I started playing. I actually only downpicked everything for the first like 2 or 3 years, because no one told me that I wasn't supposed to do that. So I pretty much got as fast at down picking as you can get before you have to alternate pick to get any faster. I couldn't really solo. I finally had like this one lesson with this guy, and he saw me play and was just like his I wouldn't want to say his jaw dropped, but he was definitely like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, why aren't you alternate picking at all?" And I didn't even know what that was. So I had to kind of spend a few months relearning how to play the right way. But yeah, so recently I've gone back and tried to learn more of that fundamental stuff, and blues and other styles that are more common to learn when you're first learning. Guys, I didn't have any interest in that back then. I think if someone had come to me with a bunch of minor pentatonic stuff when I was 9, I probably wouldn't have kept playing guitar. So it's good that I did it the way I did, but I missed a lot of the basics. So I'm going back now and doing all that.
Hey, sometimes you got to do that, man. Even like, professional baseball players or football players, they have to go down to the fundamental and just kind of learn the game,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's super important, man. And obviously I love music and just challenging myself. So I think as long as you have that, you'll be a good guitar player no matter what you learn. But
absolutely, dude. So what do you think about this new little era of the gent era, the deathcore era, the 8-string era and 7-string era? Are you into that type of music at all? And do you ever mess around with plugins or just backtracking at all?
Yes and no. I play an 8-string in my original band, Chronological Injustice.
Yeah,
like technical death metal, but I don't really listen to a lot of 8-string artists or 7-string artists, really, for that matter. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I like having the extra strings, but I don't actually really use them that much. I don't think, at least not the low 8-string. I try to use that more as like an extra place to go. I think a lot of bands, once they get that, they just want to sit and chug on it all the time, which I get.
Yeah,
because it's fun. Yeah, I get it. But I don't know. I tend to be more drawn to kind of more melodic stuff, like I was saying earlier. As much as I love the, brutal chugging and whatnot, it does get a little bit old for me after a bit. So most of the bands that I'm really into don't do a lot of extended range stuff, but I think that works well for me actually, because the stuff I write ends up being a little bit different than I think most 8-string artists out there. At least I like to think it is.
So what are some bands you listen just like on the regular?
Opeth. I mean, Opeth's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I'm a big cheerleader for those guys. I just discovered them a couple years ago, and they totally like just made me think of songwriting and music in a completely different way than I had ever thought of it before. I really love the Faceless too. They're another favorite of mine. I still like Protest the Hero a lot. Also a lot of other weird stuff too, and I try to get different genres and stuff. At least the techniques. Like, I actually do a lot of chicken picking, which obviously is like a country technique, and I don't really play a lot of country guitar, but I worked on that quite a bit maybe a year ago, and it's kind of just worked its way into my metal stuff that I do now. I do it quite a bit just for other random stuff to hit strings that I can't accurately do just by picking.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I try to listen to all kinds of different stuff. Alice in Chains is one of my favorites too. They're obviously not really metal, but I've always loved their vocal style and, appreciate the musicianship and whatnot. So, I listen to a lot of stuff, man. I try to keep it interesting. I don't like, sticking with one genre too much. I think that kind of stifles my creativity a bit.
Yeah.
My own ass,
No, dude, I completely agree, dude. Believe me, like after like, I play guitar in melodic like metalcore band, but after like practice and doing radio stuff and all that, dude, I kind of listen to metal sometimes, but I like mixing it up. I'll listen to pop punk, some rap, some country. I'll mess with some Toby. I'll do here to give my ears a break, But I like giving it like a little bit of a break and revisiting just because it feels so new.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, metal will always be my one true love, of course. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, anything I write is going to come from that place regardless. But I like to mix in all kinds of other stuff too, I've been like on a weird soul kind of funk bender lately. I don't know what caused that, but I've been listening to a lot of that type of stuff recently.
Dude, for sure, dude. So, dude, obviously you're in Vicious Rumors, dude. You're a pretty young guy, dude. And I was watching you on Facebook, and like I couldn't imagine how fast everything happened and how quick you probably got put on tour, dude.
Yeah.
Tell me that whole experience of how you got to join that band, because I was watching like your live performances. I watched one of your songs, Worlds and Machines at the Bang of Your Head, because like you posted, I don't know if it's your cover picture on Facebook, but it's you walking out on that platform with like a black one, you're shredding, and I was like, dude, I got to see some of this live, dude.
Yeah, I think that was.
Before I ask you a question about that, tell me how the whole process was that you joined Vicious Rumors.
Yeah, so basically, I knew the old singer Brian Allen.
Yeah,
I've known him for quite a while. He's I moved to Newburgh, Oregon now. That's where he lives. So we're basically next door neighbors now. But I used to live one town over, still pretty close by. But yeah, he happened to live here of all places. And years ago, before I had, I was familiar with Vicious Rumors, but I didn't know much about him. I met him coincidentally, just like, through Facebook or something. He had been injured in a car wreck, and he was just on Facebook, like complaining about none of his friends coming to hang out with him or whatever. So I think I was only about 14 at the time, but my dad and I started kind of hanging out with him, just shooting the shit and whatnot. And he had been taking a hiatus from playing shows because he was injured. But once he got a little better, we did a couple tribute shows together, like some benefit ones where we just played like a couple covers or whatever. And so at that point, I think I was sort of on his radar to some degree. And then, a few years later in 2017, Vicious Rumors lost their guitar player, the guy who I would eventually replace.
Yeah.
But Brian told Jeff about me, and he was like, "Yeah, I know this young kid. You got to hire him. He's got no restrictions. He can play the stuff. He doesn't have an ego yet, So yeah, you should hire him basically." So he got me in contact with Jeff, and this was my senior year of high school. So that's when I started talking to him, and I just sent him some videos of me covering the songs, and then he pretty much just gave me the spot. From there, we played one show in Portland, and then in July of that same year, 2017, we ended up playing that tour in Germany, and that was like 2 or 3 weeks after I graduated. So the timing worked out pretty well. But yeah, we played that Bang Your Head festival, which that's still the biggest show I've ever played, which was really cool. That one was a trip for sure. I think it was about 20,000 people. And that was my first time in Europe too. So that was super cool as well. I hadn't really been a whole lot outside of Oregon at that point. So yeah, it was a trip for sure, man. We had that tour, and then the following year we had 2 months in the States. Then the year after that, we had another month in Europe and 2 months in the States immediately afterwards, of like a 3-month run.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of this year, we had one in Europe too, right when the whole coronavirus thing started. We were actually in Europe in March when when shit hit the fan. And I was really sick while we were there too. So I was totally shitting my pants thinking I was going to get stuck in Germany, like thrown in a FEMA camp or something.
Oh man.
But thankfully we did make it back, but very narrowly. I think Germany closed its borders entirely, like no one in, no one out, just a couple days after we left. So, and I've been in this room ever since. But
yeah, it's pretty gnarly, dude. So like, dude, I was like watching your videos and watching you play. You saying that's like your first big tour. It didn't look like you had any jitters or you were nervous out there. You know, you had your attitude. And like I was watching you shred some solos and I was like, dude, like he's not really messing up at all. And like he's like super young. Like, so like walking out on that stage, was there any acclamation, or were you just like, hey, Gunnar, this is what you've wanted your whole life, just go out there and like, shred their faces off?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I've had my original band since I was like 12, I think, 12 or 13. So I've been playing shows for a really long time. Nothing quite on that scale, obviously, but I played some that were, 500 people or something maybe. So I was kind of used to it, and I've been playing for a while, so I knew how to act on stage and whatnot. But I don't know, that it wasn't really very nerve-wracking. The only part that was really stressing me out is my pedal board, or my wireless wasn't working right before the show.
Oh no!
Like the intro was playing and I couldn't get it to start. And we were filming a video, and I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna have a 10-foot cable that I'm stuck to for this whole show."
Oh man!
Thankfully, I it wasn't working, and the sound guy just gave me a cable, and I was about to plug into that, and I was like, "Let me just try it one more time." And I hooked it back up one more time, and then it just that time worked. So yeah, after that, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, now, I couldn't imagine being back there hearing the intro song. He was like sweating, like.
Oh, dude, I was freaking the fuck out. But yeah, once I got that handled, then it was just fun. After that, just doing my thing and trying to enjoy it. Trying not to fuck up because I knew we were filming, but a lot of time, like the sound setup there was a little bit. It was kind of hard to tell what was going on too, because as soon as I left one spot, I really couldn't hear anything that I was doing. So like out on the catwalk when I was soloing, I was just hoping for the best. I was playing completely from memory. I couldn't hear anything I was playing.
Yeah, I hear that a lot of big shows.
Yeah, I need in-ears or something. I got to figure something out. But yeah, those kind of environments, you got to have a good sound system, or you're just playing off the cuff.
Dude, I dig it, dude. So playing those festivals, dude, and playing like these big shows, was there like somebody you met like that you kind of looked up to that like you were just like, man, like they're pretty damn cool, dude? Because I know a lot of people say like, oh, don't meet like your heroes, because they'll end up being a dick to you or something. But did you meet somebody playing shows that you were just like, man, this guy's like down to earth and super cool?
I can't think of a whole lot of examples. We did get to play a couple of shows with the Black Dahlia Murder, which that's one of my favorite bands.
That's so dope.
And turned out that two of the guys were fans of VR, which was really cool. The singer Trevor Sternad, I think is how you say his last name, and Brandon Ellis, their new guitar player, they're both fans of the band. So yeah, I got to chat with them a little bit, which was super cool. Those guys are really down to earth, cool dudes, and great musicians. And then, yeah, I mean, all the guys in that band were cool too. We played a couple shows with them, and we played the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise with them too. That's really the only one that jumps out to me. I mean, I've met quite a few people just in shows that we played, but no one that I really looked up to, I wouldn't say. Jeff Loomis now was a big one, but that wasn't necessarily because of, a show with Vicious Rumors, I guess. But yeah, man, I don't really have anything bad to say about anyone that I've met through this. It's been mostly positive, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to meet Matt Heafy, so.
Yeah. I haven't met him, but that would be cool. Never really got into Trivium either, but he's definitely a great musician. I'd love to meet him.
Oh yeah, I'm like I'm head over heels over Trivium, dude. Like if I had to yeah, they're like everything, dude, to me.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those guys,
Yeah. all got our band, man.
So, dude, I was listening to a lot of your new album, Celebration Decay. Mm-hmm. So, when you got put into the band, like, was the songwriting process like kind of stay the same, and you got inserted to the solos, or did anything change?
To some degree, yeah. Most of the songs Jeff wrote, and then I would kind of just put my solo over whatever his opening he had. Two of the songs were ones that I wrote. Masquerade of Good Intentions and Asylum of Blood. Those are both ones that I wrote. And then, yeah, it was kind of the opposite format where I wrote it and then Jeff to put one of his solos on one of the open spots that we had.
Cool. Yeah.
And then there were a few other riffs throughout the album that I, threw into some of his songs. The main riff from Pulse of the Dead, which is the one that we did our music video for, that was one that I had for a different song. And his main riff was really similar, and we ended up just using mine instead for the chorus. So there's, some like that here and there, but the majority of it was definitely Jeff, and he wrote all the lyrics, and he's, it's his band. He's the mastermind of it all. So, but it was a lot of fun being able to put the solos down on there and, harmonize with them and still collaborate a bit. I got to definitely still have some creative input, which was fun. But I think VR has been kind of lacking that old two guitar dynamic that they had on the early albums where, there's two totally different styles where Jeff's kind of got his more bluesy type sound and I'm more of like a neoclassical player. And that's kind of how things were in the early days with Vinnie Moore and Mark McGee. And I think the last, several guitar players that they've had have kind of more had the type of style that Jeff had. So it didn't have that same duality that I fell in love with. So I'm trying to kind of bring that back to some degree. Have the variety because that's what I really like about the early albums as far as the guitar work goes. Then we have Nick Courtney singing for us now, and he's an absolute powerhouse too. He's actually doing good.
Oh no, I was just saying he's sick.
Yeah, man, he fucking kills it. And he's actually doing a guest vocal spot on my original band, Chronological Injustice. He's doing some vocals on one of ours, doing like a death metal style, which is completely different. I didn't even know he could do that too, but he can. He's a fucking jack of all trades. But yeah, I'm excited to see what people think of that. I think they'll be blown away that it's him doing that too. But yeah, he's a pleasure to work with too, man. Super cool guy. And yeah, it's been a ton of fun.
That's sweet, dude. So we got about 17 minutes left on this interview. We're going to get to the second portion of the interview, which is 2 portions. And I messaged you about this next question. Mm-hmm. New segment. We're going to try a new segment called the Dream Team.
Okay.
So I want you to pick the musicians from any era, dead or alive, to be in this band. Tell me who they are, and then tell me what kind of music you think they would write.
I mean, like my dream lineup.
Yeah, dream lineup.
My ideal band. Man, I mean, frontman, I'd probably have to give it to Michael Eckerfeldt from Opeth. He's definitely one of my favorite songwriters. I love his vocals. He's a guitar player too, so I guess he would be rhythm guitar and vocals. Second guitar, fuck, dude, I don't know. I've been sucking Jeff Loomis's dick this whole time, but I could see Loomis being great on there. Be cool to hear what he do over that. I'd say either Jeff Loomis or maybe Wes Hauck from. I found out about him from the Faceless because he was the second guitar player in that band. Mm-hmm. Had some really cool solos, and I've gotten some lessons from him recently. He helped me a lot with a lot of my theory knowledge, but I love his style of playing too. I think that could be really cool over Michael's songs. Probably so one of those two dudes. I don't know. I'd be kind of torn to choose. Drums, probably Mario Duplantier from Gojira would be one of my favorites. Super solid. Him or Thomas Hake or Hockey, however you say it, from Meshuggah. Yeah. You guys are two of my favorites for sure. I think they do the kind of weird time signature thing in just the right way where there's always a pulse still that you can follow even if you're not totally sure what polyrhythm's going on. You can still headbang to it, which I like. Weird time signatures are cool and all, but every once in a while they get a little too I want to still be able to jam out to it without a calculator, And as for bass, I mean, shit. Who cares? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, man. That's a tough one for bass.
Well, a lot of the listeners, when they hear that, they're gonna.
I know. I'm kidding, guys. It was a joke. I mean, I've got a couple basses over here I play too sometimes. Man, I don't know. I mean, most of my favorite bass players are guys that are kind of like center stage. Like, you know, obviously I love like Victor Wooten and Jaco, the classic, you know, people that bass players love, but I don't think they would fit very well in a band like that. So
I dig it.
Man, I don't know. I really like Evan Brewer, but he's in the Faceless too, so I don't want to just do the Faceless. Yeah, I might have to get back to you on that one. That's a tough.
No worries, man. Well, with all these musicians in the band, what type of music do you think they would play? Would it be like brutal death classic or
something along those lines? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, just some kind of just mix of all kinds of different stuff. Death metal with maybe some extended range stuff from either Jeff Loomis or Wes, whoever I could decide on eventually. I'd love to hear something with some of the lower tunings peppered in there. And some clean vocal breaks. You know, I'm pretty picky about that, but I do like clean vocals if they're done the right way.
I dig it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's a good answer for the first time in this segment, man. So, dude, I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions. We're going to try to get through these in 2 minutes. Okay. They're going to be completely random. Bro, are you ready?
I think so.
All right, dude. If you could play in any band for one set, any era, dead or alive, what is that one band?
Probably Pantera. I think that'd be a ton of fun. With Dime, though. I don't want to replace him.
Okay, I dig it. If you had your own theme music when you walk into any room, what theme music would you have?
My own theme music?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. It depends on the room. If I want to be professional, I don't know.
What about a room full of rockers?
Room full of rockers? Man, I don't know. Probably just the heaviest music I could come up with. Maybe some Meshuggah or something. Murder. I don't know.
All right, dude. In the zombie apocalypse, you only get one weapon to kill the zombie horde. What is your one weapon?
I think a katana is a safe bet for a melee weapon anyway. It had to be a gun, which I don't really know how to use any guns, but probably a shotgun of some kind. Anything with maximum radius, so I don't have to aim properly.
All right. What is one thing you're not good at?
Coming up with things I'm not good at, man. I don't know. I suck at math, dude. Calculus. Definitely can't do that shit.
Yeah, I can't do calculus either.
I can't drum to save my life. That's for fucking sure.
Got it
in here, but can't do it with my feet. My feet are very uncoordinated. It's all in here.
All right, dude. If you're on a deserted island, what is the one food you can't live without? You can't say water.
Tamales. I fucking love Mexican food, man. That was one of the hardest parts of being in Europe for a while for me, is not getting any good Mexican food. It was killing me.
Dude, if you guys ever play like Iron Mountain or one of these local festivals, dude, I'll bring you some tamales, bro.
Dude, I will. I'll be forever grateful if you do.
Yeah, you just give me a 5-minute guitar lesson on scales, and we'll complete
them. I'm happy to.
Well, bro, dude, it was so good talking to you, man. Super chill.
Yeah, man.
Always love these interviews. And I wish you the best of luck. I hope we get to do the shows soon. You know.
Me too.
You know, man. You know, like there are a lot of people's anti-anxiety and depressant medicine. You know, like metal saves lives, bro.
I know, man. I'm getting pretty stir crazy being home all the time, so I'm definitely ready to travel and yell you crazy fuckers again.
One last favor, bro. I need you to do me a shout out. I need you to say, this is Gunnar from Vicious Rumors, and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape.
The Metal Mixtape?
Yes, sir.
This is Gunnar DüGrey from Vicious Rumors and Chronological Injustice, and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape.
Bro, you have a great night. Can't wait to air this, and be safe.
I appreciate it, man. Send me the link when you get a chance. I'll post it.
Oh, you know it, bro.
A lot of fun, man. Take it easy.
Late.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.